So when you look for a good gun on Phantom Forces, you usually look for something that has easy to control recoil, a decent fire rate, and some decent damage, right? And this AK-U12 unironically has all of it, and I honestly never knew. So what's going on, everyone? My name is Godstatus, and today, like I said, we will be taking a look at the AK-U12. I was requested to use this gun by, I believe, Liam in my stream. He donated and gave me a setup to use. The only thing I changed is from a Delta sight to a Reflex, but I believe right now we have, I want to say it's Reflex Comp Stubby, green blue laser, and that's it. I'll confirm the setup here when we die, but the gun is a lot better than I ever thought. I'm gonna keep it really real here for a second. The AK-U12 and like the AK-12C and blah 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 in the Carbine section, I never cared about. They never interested me because things like the AKM, the AK-47, the AK-74, AK-103, all of those existed, and all of them piqued my interest a lot more than a Carbine AK. But man, I've been kind of slacking on it. So to confirm the setup, we have a Reflex muzzle brake folding grip blue laser. I switched that up. Let's take a look at the stats. So it does 35 damage up to 40 studs, which means it 3 shots anywhere up to 40 studs. That's very strong for this kind of gun. 800 rate of fire, which is really nice. Obviously your normal 30 bullets. And then it drops off to a 5 shot at about 95 studs. But the gun's a lot better than I expected it to be. Like, I think the best way for me to describe it is take like an AUG 1, add a little bit more recoil to it, but then add over 100 more rate of fire. It kind of slaps, bro. And using it on this map, Desert Storm, is a really good showcase of it because I'm not like cherry picking a metro map where you'll see how strong it is close range. And you can see how this is going to handle at all ranges, whether I'm in their spawn fighting close or medium or long range or whatever the situation may be. The gun holds its own really well everywhere. Now, I wouldn't consider this a top gun in the game by any means. This guy's 15-1 laying down in his spawn with that M107. That ends right now. 15-2, buddy. But it's not a top gun by any means, in my opinion, but it is better than I expected. Don't think you unlock this gun at that high of a rank. I think it's somewhere within like the 40s or 50s. I'll check when I die again because I feel like I'm 100% wrong on that now that I think about it. But it's not a super high level unlock. It's not like you unlock this gun at rank 100. It doesn't cost a lot to get these attachments. You don't have to buy like a ammo type, which usually ammo types can be really expensive. Stop doing this. You're not having fun. But it's overall, like, this is a gun that you could very easily pick up and throw like a Z point on it, which you unlock at 10 kills and do really good with it. A really good gun that doesn't take much to get into. And I think that really defines what a kind of starter gun or like beginner gun should be. It shouldn't cost a lot. It shouldn't be a super high level, and it really should be something that's easy to get into. You unlock this gun at rank 35, even better. Wow. I'm trying to remember what I said about this gun in my rank 0 to 100 series, but I really don't remember it, which makes me kind of upset. I guess I just didn't have enough time to really sit down and experience the gun. I used it for almost a full match today on stream, and then I used it for like 1 or 2 matches before I started recording here. I think the main thing that I love about this gun is the high rate of fire. Most are like, okay, so it behaves kind of like an assault rifle, between like 3 to 5 bullets to kill. That's what most assault rifles are, but they usually don't have this high of a rate of fire. They'll have somewhere between like 600 and like 700, maybe 750. 800 isn't that common. So when you do have a gun that has the same stats of an AR with that higher fire rate, it really ups it just that little bit more. Not to mention, if you want, you could also add super armor piercing to this, which is obviously just armor piercing on steroids. You shoot through more walls, have a good penetration depth, but I don't really recommend it because it makes it so that your 3-shot goes down at like, I think it's no longer a 3-shot at like 40 studs. It goes down to something like maybe 20 studs. It's a very hard drop off using super armor piercing, but if you do like having a good wall penetration, then it's definitely something you can look forward to adding, but by no means is it necessary. I think that Desert Storm might, in all honesty, be one of the best maps to use a gun like this on. As with most kind of ARs and carbines, one thing that I've kind of personally felt about carbines and Phantom Forces for a long time, there's only like 2 or 3 of them I've ever cared to use, and those are really mostly like the Groza 1, the SR3M, and then sort of the M4 if I was macroing it. I'm not a huge fan of burst guns on a normal level, but if I was using a macro, I wouldn't mind the M4. And that was really about it. The assault rifle category has always been my prime pick personally, just because it was exactly what I look for in guns. Decent damage, decent recoil, decent reload, blah blah blah, and it didn't make you run slower. But as the years have gone on, the carbine category has really made a name for itself. The Groza 1 getting buffed at one point a while ago, the SR3M always being a dominant gun, so that always helped out that category. Then you have things like the HK237. What I meant to say is the G36K, which is another really good one with that 300 blackout conversion, which is what that guy who killed me was using. It's really doing a lot better, and I think I've kind of neglected it and haven't talked about it enough. Now, I don't ever see carbines becoming a better category than assault rifles. I think most of them fit like kind of a niche thing. The HK237 or the G36K with 300 blackout conversion, same thing. That fits the really niche category of close range fighting that could 3-shot. But then you have something like the AKU-12, which doesn't require an ammo type, and it 3-shots anyways. Like, do you see where I'm coming from with this? This might actually be... I plan on making another video for, like, good starter guns and whatnot, like a list of them, or guns to buy, or things like that. And this might make it pretty high on the list, even as a gun to buy super early game. Now, normally I don't suggest that people buy low rank guns, right? You're obviously going to unlock them relatively quick, but that's also assuming that people are playing a lot, or, you know, they want to grind to unlock them. You can spend your credits on whatever you want, don't ever let me tell you otherwise, but I usually personally just don't recommend it, and people can understand where I come from. But for a gun like this, can I really say no to recommending it? I personally, like, the lowest ranked guns I would buy if I made like an alt account is something like the Scar L, the G36, the L85, or like the Scar H. Those are usually like my go-to low ranked guns, and I guess the Asvel as well. The Asvel is definitely an easy buy. But those are usually like my go-to low ranked guns if I make an alt account. If I want to just immediately get into a really solid gun, those are usually what I'm going to be picking. I'm gonna have to add this on, man. I can't see myself making a list of something of good early game guns and this not being there. It's also not even just the rate of fire, but the fact that it can 3-shot. Like, I always assumed this gun was really weak. Granted, I never really used it. I just kind of assumed because, you know, Carbine AK never really stuck out to me as something that would be powerful by any means. Man, I've been wrong, boys. I have been wrong for quite some time. And I don't know if this gun's ever been updated a lot. I honestly, like I said, I never looked into it. I didn't care. So I don't know if this gun got buffed or it's been nerfed or anything like that. And I honestly don't know if they have any plans to ever change the gun as well. And I think that's one of the really important things when I suggest guns. I try to think about it. You know, making a video on, like, you know, take something like the Asval full stock extended mag video that I made. That gun's just crazy good. I expect that to be nerfed, so it's hard for me to be like, yeah, go spend your credits on this, and take the trust of you guys and what I'm saying to not, like, mess up, you know, spending your credits and whatnot. I don't see this gun being nerfed. Truly, I don't. I don't see this gun being buffed either. I don't think it would need it by any means. If it got buffed, it would be a little weird to me. But I feel like this is one that, like, I could comfortably say, like, yeah, guys, like, spend some credits on this. You won't regret it. It won't be nerfed in the next update. Like, you'll be okay. You'll be able to get your money's worth out of doing it. And I think that's really important. I've known there was a time, I'm trying to think of what specific gun it was. There was some gun I recommended a lot of people to buy. I made a video on it, and in the next update, it got nerfed. It wasn't like a crazy nerf, but it went from being like a super easy gun to not being that great. Or not that it wasn't that great, excuse me. It went from being a crazy easy gun to being like, you know, more average, not as overpowered as I was telling everyone it was. And that made me feel kind of bad because I don't want to make you guys spend credits and then immediately regret it, you know? Which is a good thing why, like, the test place, or maybe not test place, the private servers now have unlimited credits, essentially. You can unlock whatever you want. That's a really good thing, because now people can hop into a private server and test out a gun if I recommend it to them, or if they see it from another YouTuber or something like that. They don't have to buy the gun and then find out that they don't like it. You could always just hop into a private server. But man, this is kind of the wave, bro. I'm actually really enjoying it. And like I mentioned before, it's super easy to get into a gun like this. It's hard for me to recommend higher recoil guns like the AKM. I personally love the AKM, even though I'm not always the best with it, but I love it. It's a high damage, higher recoil gun that has a little bit of a skill curve to it, but it's so insanely good if you get good with it. But recommending that to, like, my general audience is difficult because not everyone is like a tryhard. Not everyone is crazy good at the game and can control those high recoil guns. This is almost like, I used to say, and people could debate me on this, that the M4A1 was like the perfect all-around gun in Phantom Forces. There was nothing that you could say was too overpowered about it, and I also didn't personally feel like there was anything too weak about the M4A1. It did what it, you expected it to do. You didn't ever get shot by the M4A1 and go, wow, I really wish he wasn't using that gun. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like this gun fits that same category. Someone could kill me with this gun, and I don't think I've ever died to this and went, wow, I didn't enjoy that, or like, wow, I had no chance, you know what I mean? I think this is perfect to like be killed by, perfect gun to kill people with as well, and just overall have a chill game with it. If somebody complains about you using this gun, you could just tell, oh, they're angry that you're better than them. Like, there's no way they saw you get a kill with this gun and they went, wow, you wouldn't have gotten that kill without that gun. No, you killed them and you destroyed them. There's no way they could be upset about the gun. There's no excuses that could be made. Because don't get me wrong, guys, there are guns out there, if you kill me with it, immediately in my head, I'm like, wow. Like, if he was using a different gun, probably wouldn't have happened. Truly, I do think that sometimes. If I died to something like a FAL or something, or, the ASVAL full stock extended mag, certain guns like that, and obviously it depends on the player. If it's just some random person in a public match, this thought pops in my head. If I know there's some, like, competitive player and they're good at the game, it wouldn't matter what gun they're using. But if, like, some random kid kills me with, like, an AA-12, you know what I mean? I'm like, wow, that wasn't fun. If he didn't have an AA-12, he probably wouldn't have killed me. This gun, you can't make those excuses. People don't have an excuse against you anymore. What are you doing other than pooping on them? Truly, is what it'll come down to. And with this gun, that 3-shot close range, you really can poop on some people. I hate to say it, but this gun is more powerful than a good amount of ARs, now that I think about it. This is unironically probably better than a G36, better than an L85. I don't know if I'd say better than like a Scar L necessarily, because Scar L could 4-shot at all ranges, and if you throw a muzzle booster on it, it's pretty good. But on a tier list, I'm struggling to find a place to put this, but I just think it mixes so well with everything. You can't put it below something like an AUG because it has the 3 shots to kill and a better rate of fire. You can't put it above something like an AK-103 with 5.56 and bars barrel because that's ridiculously accurate and has good damage. You know what I mean? It's such a happy medium. This might be one of the more balanced guns in the game, at least in my opinion. I definitely could be wrong. You guys could feel free to critique me about that, but there's 2. I think there's 1 or 2 more people in their spawn. That guy here, this guy here. Look at how fast we kill with that. Oh, the close range 3-shot helps out so much. It's weird because I'm always so used to shooting 4 bullets with using like the G36 all the time. So when I have a gun that's 3-shotting, I always feel a little bit off. 119 and 22, not really paying attention to the game. Usually I'm commentating what I'm doing and where I'm going and the spawn traps and blah, blah, blah. Kind of just chilled and talked on this one. So if you guys did enjoy, please make sure you hit the like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.